This is probably the dumbest decision ever made by Marvel. And I'm going to tell you exactly why. This I'm telling you, I thought it could not get any worse when it comes to terrible decision making over at Marvel, right? They made the Marvels movie. Huge mistake. They're coming out with the Little Ironheart show. Huge mistake. Now, this decision right here by these geniuses over at Marvel, right? This was their one shot to maybe come back with a banger, right? Maybe come back and do something special. They're coming out with the Fantastic Four. This is an MCU Fantastic Four. So we thought. It's not an MCU Fantastic Four. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an She-U Fantastic Four. Look at this right here. Sue Storm is the true leader of the Fantastic Four, according to Marvel producers, as Vanessa Kirby mocks classic Invisible Woman's comic portrayal. That's right. In this MCU Fantastic Four movie, which, by the way, if you did not know this already, this movie is going to be a huge financial disaster for Disney, for Marvel. I'm telling you, it's going to be GG's for the MCU as we know it. It's done. It's cooked, right? Go ahead and throw away those Avengers movies. No one's excited for them anymore, especially after this, right? Especially after this. I'm telling you, geniuses, right? These dummies. You got the weakest member of the group, Invisible Woman, right? Not the smartest, not the strongest, right? But because she has something else that the other three don't have, right? She has a special ability, being abroad in the MCU and Disney in general, being a chick, being a lady, bro, that is the most powerful asset ever. I'm telling you, Reed Richards, if you want to be the boss again, all you got to do is transition. I'm telling you, you'll be back calling the shots. Look at it, it's making her the leader. I could not believe this, but this is 100% true. This Fantastic Four movie is Sue Storm is the star. This is a Sue Storm movie. This is the Invisible Woman. Again, the least interesting member of the group, the least intelligent, the least strong member of the group. And because we know why. We know why. They made her the leader. But I'm telling you, it gets worse than this. And you're like, how the hell does it get worse than this? Well, it gets worse. Look at this right here. Pedro Pascal says he loves being led by powerful women as Sue Storm takes the lead in Marvel's Fantastic Four. That's right. This version of Reed Richards, right? He's always the leader because he's the smartest. Reed Richards, he's the smartest one. He's not the most powerful. He can stretch. He can do these things. But what makes him the leader, what makes him one of the leaders in Marvel is that he's intelligent. He's one of the smartest beings, really, in all of Marvel. Well, not this version. No. This version of Reed Richards, when he goes on vacation with Sue Storm and maybe another dude, who knows? This version of Reed Richards, no, he doesn't sleep on the bed with Sue Storm. No, he sits on the couch, right at the end of the bed, in the corner. There's an armchair. That's where he sits and he just watches. That's the Reed Richards that we're getting. No wonder I read that nobody was trying to be Reed Richards. Nobody was, actors were turning down this role. They were reading the script. They were turning it down. Well, of course, Pedro Pascal, who we all know, it's probably the most feminine actor, male actor in the history of cinema. He said, sign me up. Please sign me up. And that's what we're getting here. We're going to get a Reed Richards that's not the leader. He likes being led by the true leader, Sue Storm. She's going to be the boss, right? She tells Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, she tells him, hey, when you take a piss, you better sit down. That's what we're getting. I cannot wait for this movie to flop. I honestly cannot wait because these dummies over at Disney, over at Marvel, they need to learn, right? They need to learn right now. They're on the dirt after that failure, which was the Captain America movie, bro, after all these failures they've had back to back to back. And I get these dummies in the comment section like, bro, ease off on Disney. They're already, they're trying. As I know, bro, they're not trying. Now is not the time. We need to kick in their back even more because this right here, we need to hold Disney accountable for this right here. We do. We need to hold them accountable. We cannot let them get away with this garbage right here, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway, you guys let me know what you think down in the comments. And like always, don't forget to subscribe. Sensational.